I'm in the studio. Here with me is Dr. Maxine Malk, the founder and executive director of African Elections Media Monitoring Index. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Wendy.
And thanks for your time.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Now, before we even go to the assessment of the role of the media, yes, indeed, the media does play a critical role in governance and even in democracy. The attacks on journalists, what do you make of it?
I would say it's rather unfortunate. It's inimical to the democratic dispensation processes in this country, and it's rather unfortunate that many haven't realized the role and the light the journalists, through countless efforts, are able to bring issues that should have been behind darkness and behind dark clothing. But the media is, through sacrificial efforts, are able to bring these to bear to us, which has actually brought even this country to where we are today. I think this is even the time Ghanaians, irrespective of the political color, should be commending the Ghanaian media for the effective and the unbiased role it has played during this election. I had a challenge with the way the media reported issues during the pre-election era, but during the election coverage, the media has done fantastic well, and the peace we are enjoying today is because of the media. And even the way the media has even been reporting even the attack on their co-members, they have not even been biased in that. They have been very objective. And then also the attack, as much as we're looking at the physical attack, we should also ask ourselves, what could be the remote factors that might have led to this? We can enumerate it all as a hindsight. When certain media houses did the projections, certain political parties stood against them. And when you do that, you are already sending certain remote signals that the media is not on your part. So then you have already fomented the political grounds for supporters or whatsoever to go against the media, because there's nothing wrong for media house to make projections. And I think I will say that media practitioners or media institutions are intellectual institutions where not only news is being manufactured, but knowledge is being manufactured.
But now in this case, I just read a release from the NPP describing the incident as unfortunate and has apologized. And we just also watched a story from the NMC where the NMC is also asking journalists who have been subjected to attacks to notify for urgent steps to be taken. Do you think the NMC was too slow in reacting to this?
No, I wouldn't say the NMC was too slow. We were all taken by surprise. No one was expecting or in the waiting room to see that. So the NMC hasn't been slow at all. They have also come out to actually express their concern, and they have established the various grounds how journalists can seek redress. We shouldn't really blame the National Media Commission with any labels of such. And then also we should also commend the NPP as a political party coming out to condemn these acts. I know many wouldn't like to even accept their...
Would you say it's too late?
It hasn't been too late. For instance, I always say, yesterday I was being interviewed, and I said that for a party to even come out, they also need to do a ground check. If a journalist, let's be very objective here, if a journalist is being attacked during a political party's demonstration, what is the conclusive evidence that the attack emanated from that particular political party? And we have to look at all circumstantial and possible factors that could go into that. And I think
it's a step in the right
very
direction.
good. So looking at this, it is a step in the right direction. They also need to establish certain facts. And I think based on the facts they have established, they've come out to condemn this. And I think it's in the right direction. That is the way we can move this country forward. If a party has realized that its supporters has gone beyond the thresholds of the law, and they have come out to actually restrain their supporters, and to even, you see an undertone of apology there, although it hasn't strongly come out. And I think we should also equally commend them. I believe that through processes of human dispensations, infractions will come, but how do we handle the infractions within a very fair context and projection? And I think it's in the right direction.
And now to your assessment of the role of the media. You have indicated that yes, the media did well during the coverage of the elections, but in grading it as compared to 2008, what do you make of this year's coverage?
I would say this year's coverage, the media was not sensational as compared to 2008, and certain, but as much as I'm saying, yeah, if I say sensational, if you look at previously in 2008, certain media stations or media outlets were playing certain war-related reggae music, you know, which were actually heating up the political climate, but we didn't see that. But looking at the Ghanaian political fiber, one also has to ask the question, those that are being very sober today, where were they? Which block were they? You know, but to draw a very objective line, I would say the media has been very, very professional in the way they handle and cover the various issues during elections. You hardly find partisanship coming up. You might find certain trace of partisanship with certain media houses, but those media houses are known within the Ghanaian body politics for championing certain political ideology. So then it doesn't become strange in terms of journalistic professionalism. So I would say that the media has done so well, and they deserve to be commended.
So you think the conduct of the media was very okay?
The conduct of the media was very okay. If one is saying the conduct of the media was not okay, it depends on where that person stands. It depends on what political ideology that person believes in. But if you look at it, even the way the results were handled, there was no, the media didn't even create tension in this country. The media was rather managing tension, you know, and I think I'm looking at it from that point, and they were able to even hold. You hear even media practitioners saying that, well, we are waiting upon the EC for its declaration, and that has always been the language the media was using through the coverage. And I think that is very, very important remark that we need to really pat the media on their journalistic shoulders.
And do you think they provided free flow of information from your very own point of view? Yes,
in terms of flow of information, the flow of information was also very fantastic, and then it was also not even unilateral. It was national in nature. From the northern side across the east, west, and the southern part, we could get every bit of information. And if you even interact with journalists, you could see that they were restraining themselves. There was what I would call political censorship, you know, individual political censorship of political content. The media was very, very professional in even censoring information they were churning out, and that's why I am saying that the media has done creditably well and deserves to be commended. Yes.
If I should ask you what impact the media did make on this year's elections, what can you say about it?
Yeah, if they made one particular and a very strong impact by holding political nerves at bay, like ours, fledgling democracies, upcoming democracies. Tensions can be very high, and I think the media was also very mindful of various political vituperations that came out during the pre-election era. So they were very mindful. The media was very, very mindful in terms of even their language choices. Was so professional. The media didn't come out with language that was very inflamed with any political color, and so the impact the media put on the whole country during the coverage of the election, I would say that they were able to calm political nerves, and that is why you and I are sitting here today.
Now, with your experience and looking at the previous elections that we've had, do we really have any lessons to pick?
Yes, we have.
Especially related to this year's elections.
Yes, we have lessons to pick. The lessons we have to pick is that during election era, political tension gets so high, and when political tension gets so high, you expect the media to be I would say by a reporter inclined. But what the other side I would say is that the media was churning out issues that were happening, but they were not asking or interrogating those issues on behalf of the electorates.
Or following up on issues.
Yes, they were not following up on issues. They were, and I think it's because of also the perception out there that, or the anxiety to be labeled as being, you know, in concert with party X or Y. Notwithstanding that, and I think this is also an area that we need to critically look at in the subsequent or in the future elections. When the issues are at stake, the media should do a back and forth. The media should really do what I would call journalistic talk back. You know, the media should talk back to the issues and get the answers back to electorates. But they were rather churning the events as they were happening. Yes.
So a lot more should be done.
Yes, so a lot more should be done in this direction. No matter how the issues are, or no matter where it's coming from, let the media do a journalistic talk back on behalf of the electorates, on behalf of the general public, to actually interrogate further. But notwithstanding that, one could also ask, why is it that the media was not able to do that? It's also a very important question that needs to be asked. It's perhaps because of the time frame, because of the intensity of the content.
That shouldn't stop a journalist from following up from
that
what he or she has started, a story you're working on with relations to the elections. That shouldn't stop him or her from doing his work or fully completing their work.
In terms of follow-up, even generally, it's a journalistic canker affecting journalism in this country. Journalists in this country hardly do follow-ups on stories. There are various research that we have conducted to that effect. But even when during election era, when events pops up, I would suggest that journalists to also act quickly. I was at YTV, and then we were supposed to discuss a press statement from the NPP, and during that time, Obasanjo was also supposed to hold a press conference. So when the question was thrown back to me, I told the moderator that no, I would suggest that we put a hold on this discussion. We need to get the views from Obasanjo and then relate it to the press statement that has come from the, so you know, but many a time journalists will just, because they have an information, they want to go out there, and I don't think that's the way to go.
Should be done.
Yes, and then also you need journalistic patience, professional patience.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Amisan Malbe. He is the founder and the executive director of African Elections Media Monitoring Index, and we're looking at the role of the media in the coverage of this year's election.